What if he didn't die? To understand why we're standing here in Texas, we first have to go back to New Mexico.
New Mexico has a way of pulling you in. The sky goes on forever. The land feels ancient, and somewhere out there, underneath of it all, history is still breathing. Chris has always been fascinated by Billy the Kid since he was a kid himself. The outlaw, the legend, the mystery of how it all ended. So when we started planning this trip and decided we're going to head to New Mexico, it wasn't really a question about whether we'd chase the story or not. And now here we are, actually retracing his steps, standing where he stood, walking where he walked. I don't think either of us was fully prepared for how it was going to feel. This isn't just history to us. It was a way to experience a little bit of maybe what Billy the Kid experienced out there. To ride the trails as closely as we can in modern day. We've made it to Billy the Kid's original home site when they made their way here to Silver City, New Mexico to call it home. He came here with his mother, Catherine, brother Joe, and stepfather. The cabin was originally torn down in 1894, but this replica cabin is in the exact spot where their homestead cabin was. And it was donated from Ron Howard from the 2003 film The Missing.
Yeah. So this is where some will say kind of where Billy the Kid started, or Henry Atrium, or William H. Bonney.
Or Henry McCarty.
Yeah,
that was his original birth name.
Yes, which originally started in New York.
They believe.
Yes, they believe. That's where the first traces of him show up, New York, his family, I should say. And then the migration started west. And there is history, or there is some stuff out there about actually a stop in Indiana where his mother got remarried. That was to, I can't remember, the Atrium. That's when she married Atrium. I'm trying to remember can't really remember the stepfather's name. We'll put it up on the screen, I guess.
That's when she remarried.
Yeah, that's when she remarried. Somewhere in Indiana.
It's called Santa Fe, Indiana.
Yes,
and a lot of historians have said that they were married in Santa Fe, New Mexico, because Santa Fe, Indiana is no longer there.
Yeah, but I did manage to hopefully track that down, and when we get back to Indiana, we'll maybe take a trip to actually see if that's real. Because it is no longer a town that says Santa Fe, Indiana.
Yeah.
So it is just like a township or something. It's really small.
Yeah.
But we'll see if we can really track it down when we get home.
Yeah.
But
so Billy's mother, may have known, died in 1874 of tuberculosis. After her passing, his stepfather wanted nothing to do with the boys, and they were pretty much left to fend for themselves and orphaned. This is where Billy first got in trouble for stealing and hiding goods that he stole from a Chinese laundromat here. And I think it's from here is to where he ended up finding the job out in Bonita Springs, Arizona.
Yeah. And that's where he ended up with his first kill, as you'll find out later.
Yeah.
When we get there.
Yeah.
But
so it's pretty. It's very cool that they have something that actually marks it.
Yeah. And the actual gravesite of his mom is kind of up in the air because I guess through the years there's been like serious washouts and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why, from what I've read, one of the reasons why they have never done DNA and stuff like that to confirm whether or not Billy the Kid is really buried in the Billy the Kid grave and with his mother, because there's no way to tell that they would actually have the correct person.
Right. Same thing with his mother's remains. But there is a grave site marked for her.
Yeah.
I'm going to go visit that.
You know, that was new to me. I didn't know we were going to go visit.
It's right around the corner, so I might as well do it.
It's just like we're here really late as usual, and the visitor center is closed, and I don't know if you're able to walk in that or not, but it's all closed. It's not very big, obviously, but so I just didn't know we were going to go to the cemetery, but whatever.
Might as well. We're here.
Yeah, I guess we might as well since we're here.
Yeah.
So I guess, are we finished with our little butchered history lesson?
We'll fix it.
Just be generous on us, because this is something new for us trying out, and we're doing the best we can.
Trying to remember everything we've learned, and as you drive here, I have it all planned in my head, and then the camera turns on, and I'm like, So.
I mean, Billy the Kid has always kind of been an interest to me, but I never really actually thought about like trying to recap his life on my own, or two of us together, whatever, like actually going to spots that the history books and historians talk about. So it's all kind of refreshing, some of and a lot of the folklore, like I'm just like everybody else from the 80s. Like, my first really Billy the Kid was Young Guns. Mm-hmm. So, but we're going to go ahead and go visit the mom's grave. And
then we have to find camp again.
Yes, and then we have to find camp. So we will catch up with you in a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
All right. Mother of Billy the Kid. Man, what's with all the flowers?
So we made it to Catherine Antrim's gravesite.
Yep.
Interesting fact is, when they redid her tombstone in the 1950s, they misspelled her name, spelling it with a K, not a C. So I think that's why they have this additional sign, because they've never corrected it. People have definitely left some trinkets.
I mean, it's kind of cool to see, like, people still paying all the respects.
Yeah.
Not really sure about sunglasses, so maybe somebody can let me know about sunglasses.
Yeah, why? Every story has a fork in the road. For Billy, that moment is buried right here. here at the Bonita Cemetery in Bonita Springs, Arizona. And I'm actually doing the spirit box session inside the Jeep because it is crazy windy out there and you would not be able to hear anything anyways. But we're parked pretty close to Frank Windy Cahill's gravesite, and he was the first person on record being killed by Billy the Kid. So Billy was 17 years old. He was still known as Henry Atram, and he had come here after leaving Silver City because he got in trouble there for stealing some money and food. He came here to work as a ranch hand, and he was a scrawny 17-year-old kid, not dressed like a country kid, dressed more like the city kid. So he was made fun of quite a bit. And he had gone to a cantina, and Frank Cahill unfortunately bullied him too much. So he couldn't take it anymore. He broke, and he shot and killed Cahill, and Cahill died the next day. So I'm going to turn on the spirit talker while I give you a little more of the history. So he died the next day. The coroner stated that it was criminal and unjustified. So Billy was taken into custody, and it was his first escape by wiggling his hands out of the handcuffs. And from there, he went back to New Mexico, changed his name to William Bonney, and never returned to Arizona again, and never used his birth name again. So if there's anybody here that'd like to talk to us, we'd like to talk to Frank Cahill if he's here, not available. It's actually a quite well taken care of cemetery. We just visited his headstone, which there was a newer one placed there by the Billy the Kid Historical Coalition.
Healing.
It's very healing for you to talk to us. We send you love too. I kind of am getting the feeling of sadness, a lot of sadness. I'm sorry if that's the way you felt. Like, I feel like I want to cry.
You've helped me.
So this is the little bit of a pickle that we got into. Angela's going to have to get out and guide me. I'm going to have to back up. Because we were trying to get to the John Tunstall murder site, and it looked like we might be able to take a trail, and just look really rocky. So we were like, okay, we'll head down it. And we got maybe 2 minutes into the trail. And, well, you can see where the Jeep is right now. And then this is what's coming up right here. And with just the two of us, there's no way I'm going to try that. That's easily, my Jeep will not stay in this line right here until I would get down that far. But I'd have to get past all this first. And I just don't see that happening. Too much of an angle. You can tell that rain has washed this out, and I'm not going to. It looks like there may have been a few people.
Up here?
Mm-mm. There may be a few people, I would guess four-wheelers, have tried to make their own little path through here, but I am not going to do that because, well, one, this is a pretty steep. I think I could get up it, but if I come back, and I don't know what else is down there, but if I come back, I don't know. That's going to be a pretty hard angle to get out of. So we are going to back up. I'll show you real quick here, so I don't kill myself. We are going to back up. A little bit. Back up this rocky ledge here. And then there's a little spot right there. That right. I'm pointing it to the right spot. There, that I'm going to turn around at and head back up the trail. So, this is going to be fun. And this is killing time. Let me tell you that much. But Angela's going to, as you can see, how the back end of the Jeep is. So Angela's going to film me and guide me. But she needs to come to the back of the truck. So we'll see how we get out of this. We got walkie-talkies so she can let me know how good or how bad I'm doing. Yeah, as you can see, she's trying to figure out how to get over here and not slide. Let me go help her. Here, babe. Here we go. Wish us luck. And let's hope I don't.
He won't.
Let's hope I don't make a mistake.
It'll all be good.
I backed up in similar, longer backups than this, but this is pretty. This is at a pretty good angle. So now, and just so you know, my back tires are probably going to sink into this crevice.
Yeah.
Just don't panic. Okay. This is the key part right here. I need to kind of make sure I stay away as close to this side as I can, so I don't slide. Okay.
You're about to go down just a little bit. Yeah, move your... I think you're too close to that rut right there.
Didn't hear you.
It looks like your driver's back tire is too close to the rut right there.
I'm gonna give it a go anyway, though. Well, no, I'll pull forward a little bit.
Yeah, keep it up on the passenger side a little more. Yeah, that's looking better. You're almost to the rocks. Big rock, passenger back tire right now.
Like, is it just that, like, line of rock in the dirt I see?
It's a really big rock kind of by itself, and then a couple smaller ones behind it a little bit.
Can I avoid it or no?
Maybe, but you'd have to hug this passenger side pretty tightly to the edge over here.
Where you're standing?
Yes. All right, go to your side a little bit. You cleared it. Another 2 big boulders right now. You need me back behind you again? Or are you gonna go there? Okay.
Yes, I'm gonna turn in here and then turn around.
Boulders on your side now. Hard passenger side. Turn it more to the passenger side and you should clear them. Gotta be hard though. Nope.
All right. Is the hooker looking for a ride?
10-4.
All right, everybody. I think after walking past it and then walking back, I think I might have found it. I passed this clearing. I said to myself, maybe this is it. But I walked past it anyway. And then, sure enough, there it is. Huh. Yeah, we made it. I'm using the 360 Osmos. So that way you can see me and what's in front of me. So, there we go. I made it. All right, everybody. So, like I said before, Angela and Buddy, it would have been a rough walk for them. So it was probably better they stayed back. Now the sun is glaring, so it's kind of hard to see. But obviously, there we go. John Henry Tunstall killed here, and they have this down here with people leaving bullets behind, shotgun shells, money. It's a crazy 50-cent piece right there. If I can get that. No, that's the wrong way. Right there. Looks like it. I'm not sure what that is. But anyway. So, we'll just do it this way. And the sun's in my eyes, not in your guys' eyes. But, so the reason this is so important to the Billy the Kid story is, I'm sure, some of you people probably know that are watching because you maybe have already saw some things about Billy the Kid. But John Henry Tunstall is the one who gave Billy a ranch hand job and kind of took him under his wing. And then he was ambushed by the Murphy Dolan gang's posse, which I believe was Jesse Evans was the head of. And then they killed John Henry Tunstall, which then is what pretty much kicked off the Lincoln County War. Billy and the other ranch hands, which they all became the regulators, got deputized and were going to serve justice for John Tunstall. But it kind of turned into a vigilante thing. And that's what ended up with Billy becoming the outlaw that he was. Pat Garrett hunting him down, allegedly killing him in Fort Sumner at Pete Maxwell's. Depends on which story you want to go with. Bushy Bill Roberts, dead and shot in Fort Sumner. But this is pretty much what kicked off the Lincoln County Wars is the Dolan and Murphy gang, as they called them, the house, and killing him, ambushing him and killing him. And then Billy and the others, uh, uh, Chavez and Dick Brewer and all those other guys, they became regulators and were supposed to do justice, but then it's pretty much seems like it turned to vigilante. But I made it here. I didn't die. Now it's time for me to get back because Buddy and Ange are waiting in the Jeep for me. But we made it. I feel like this is kind of important to the Billy the Kid history. There's a lot of things that run into Billy the Kid history, but I feel like this is probably one of the more important things because it's pretty much what started everything. You know, Blazers Mill, the Battle of Blazers Mill happened afterwards. That's where Dick Brewer was killed, I believe, by Buckshot Roberts. But so to me, this is kind of one of the more important ones. And there is a nice sign out there right by the road as we took video and pictures of. But when you get down the way, there is no sign. But you can definitely tell when you see a clearing and it looks like there's been plenty of people walking this way. That's where you want to turn. It'll be on your left-hand side. But so I encourage anybody who's looking into Billy the Kid history to just come check it out. Because to me, it's an important part. Now, there is another trail walking this way, but I don't have the time to do that. I don't know where that goes. Or maybe I'll run up it real quick just to see if there's something of interest up there. But anyway, I'm going to head back, and that's a little bit of the history as far as I can tell it. You know, I'm not a history buff, but I'm going to go check this out real quick and then head back to the Jeep. Bye.
That night, after a long day of retracing his steps and exploring the West, we camped right down the road from where Tunstall was killed. There was no cell service. There was no noise, except for a few coyotes. And it just kind of hit us. Billy the Kid wasn't just a story in a book anymore. He actually rode this ground that we're standing on. History doesn't always live in museums. Sometimes it's right underneath your boots. You just have to get out there, research, and explore it.
I'm going to try to make sure that I don't overheat the water to where I burn out the coffee. I think that's a thing. I just know, and this is going to sound fancy, I know that our espresso machine heats the water to 150 degrees. Because I checked it. So I'm going to try to get this to 150 degrees before I put it in the press. And yes, I have two presses. One for mine, one for hers, because she will not drink the same coffee as I drink. She has to have flavor. So, we're going to hopefully give this a go. I'm going to turn this thing on and stick it in.
Oh yeah, it's already boiling.
Oh, turn around. Sorry, my bad. It looks like it's plenty hot enough. That's in the 150 range. Alright. Yeah, I love that jet oil stuff. And there it is. It's boiled like a jet. Here we go. This is Angela's. Coffee's already in there. We prepped it last night.
Maple pecan.
And you can smell it.
And we just got these presses, so hopefully they work as good as we anticipate.
Yeah. And hopefully I don't pour too much water in here. I'm going to try to do it without this thing. Because unfortunately, my wife, that's about all the water she's going to take in that thing. Because
I like a little soy milk.
Soy milk, yeah. Oh, should have came over here. Now, hopefully, that was enough water for mine.
It don't sound like it.
This is new to our repertoire here. Yeah, see, I was.
That's better.
Now, I usually have paper towels with me, but my dumb ass left them in the kitchen. Now, we'll put our little fancy frother milk in here.
Oh, look at that.
And hopefully this tastes like she remembers, like I do it at home.
It's a little more coffee, but it's still good.
Minimal coffee, but still good. So
it's been days since I've had my coffee.
Put the lid on. Keep the warmth in there. Is it warm at least?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now this is just cheap, free Target coffee, just so everybody knows.
That was his choice to bring.
It's not bad. I'm going to say it's not espresso from the espresso machine, but it's actually not bad. And there we go.
Now we have to clean up this mess.
Yeah, we're not going to bore you with the cleanup.
Yeah, but look at all this mess that we got to clean up, put all back together.
Yeah.
So 2 cups of coffee, 1 hour. That's what it's really like out here. You don't just roll out of bed and have a steaming cup of coffee ready to go.
Yeah.
Most people know Billy the Kid's story. They know about Lincoln and about Fort Sumner and about Pat Garrett. But there's a chapter that gets skipped. A single afternoon in April of 1878 that changed everything in a place called Blazer's Mill. Just 3 days after the regulators ambushed and killed Sheriff Brady and Lincoln, they were already riding again.
Here we are at Blazer's Mill, the historical marker. The date says April 5th on here, which some of our research showed April 4th. But, you know, you gotta go with what you find. Apologize about the road noise now.
Yeah, it's just a marker on the side of the freeway. So I'm guessing that the mill was actually out there a little bit, but it could have been right here. Who knows? From our research, there's no remnants of the mill anymore.
No. And I think, so I'll show you right behind it. Like, this looks like it's mainly private land right over this little hill right here. And then back behind it is Indian reservation. So I don't think there's really any leftover up the mill. So we will have to, I'm going to look on the map and see if I can see maybe a road or something like that that might lead to something. But I don't think there is anything that will show where the battle actually happened. But so I'm going to actually look on the map when we get back.
We'll see, but I don't think so.
Yeah, and hopefully the sound is okay on this.
Yeah. Now we're on to the next stop of the day.
So yeah, this is stop 1 for today. The Blazer's Mill, like I said before, it's an important part because this is where Dick Brewer was killed after searching for Buckshot Roberts for the murder of John Tinster. So we're gonna check and see, and then we're gonna roll to stop 2.
Yep.
Maybe we get to 3 stops today, but I don't know.
We'll see.
Yeah.
The 2 men who killed each other that day, Andrew Buckshot Roberts and Dick Brewer, leader of the regulators, were buried right here on this land, side by side. Two men on opposite sides of a war, spending eternity as neighbors. We tried to find those graves. But this land is now tribal property, and we couldn't get to them. Billy wasn't done. The trail keeps going, and it leads us here to the most dangerous street in America, Lincoln, New Mexico. Here's something that puts this whole war into perspective. In 1878, Lincoln County was the largest county in the entire United States, covering 1/4 of New Mexico. That's more land than some states. Whoever controlled Lincoln controlled all of it. The cattle contracts, the government supply routes, the money, the law, everything. And President Hayes called this one little street right here the most dangerous street in America. And looking at this quiet town tucked into the mountains today, it's almost impossible to imagine. But in 1878, this street ran red with blood. Gunfights and ambushes. The war fought not by armies, but by outlaws, lawmen, and cattlemen, all fighting for control of the most powerful pieces of land in the American West. And right in the middle of all of it, there was a teenager named Billy the Kid. That stone tower was standing in the middle of this town since the 1840s. The early Hispanic settlers built it as a refuge, a place to run when Apache riders hit the town. Back then, Lincoln wasn't just dangerous because of outlaws. It was dangerous just to exist out here. But during the 5-day battle of Lincoln County War in 1878, that tower became a weapon. The Murphy-Dolan faction took it over and stationed sharpshooters on top, firing down on the regulators in the streets below. Billy the Kid himself fought in the shadow of that tower, and it's still standing right here, as it always was. The Tunstall store. This is where it all started. John Tunstall built this store in 1878 to compete directly with the Murphy-Dolan Mercantile that controlled everything in Lincoln County. It wasn't just a store. It had a bank, a law office for Alexander McSween, and living quarters for Tunstall himself. When Tunstall opened these doors, he was essentially declaring war on the most powerful men in the county. They responded by having him murdered.
All right, everybody. Once again.
Yeah, but it's 1:40 in the afternoon.
Yeah, it's 1:40 in the afternoon, and the lady literally just locked it as we walked up to it. So we're trying to get through the window here, and I know there's a glare.
That's gross.
But this is the Tunstall store, but we are not going to be able to get into it because, like I said, she just closed it as we were walking up to it. So, and as Angela stated, it's only 1:40 in the morning or in the afternoon. But that's what it looks like on the inside.
This is where the regulators hid in the corral behind the Tunstall store on April 1st, 1878, waiting for Sheriff William Brady to walk past. Brady had been in the pocket of the Murphy-Dolan faction from the beginning. He'd done nothing when Tunstall was murdered. He arrested Billy and the regulators while letting the real killers walk free. When Brady walked down the street that morning, the regulators opened fire. Brady died of more than a dozen gunshot wounds. And Billy the Kid had officially crossed a line he'd never uncross.
So this here is the site of, gotta go back to my notes here, the ambush of William Brady and his men, where the regulators and Billy the Kid took their lives. Billy the Kid and the regulators ambush spot of William Brady, the sheriff, and some of his deputies.
But you said there's no proof that he actually shot a gun.
Yeah, there is no proof that Billy the Kid actually shot and killed. I mean, I'm sure he did shoot, but there's no definitive he actually killed somebody. Because there were so many guns going on.
Yeah.
In a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
All you kids from the 80s will get that one. So now I think we're going to go up to the Dolan house, right?
That's next.
Because we kind of covered the one side of the street with the tinsel. And
Yeah, which is the only thing they closed.
yeah, the only thing as we were walking up on it.
And they need a sign at the road that says Visitor Center. Buy your tickets here.
Yes.
It's not even on the road. That's why we just drove right past it.
Yeah, we just drove right past it. We actually stopped right next to it. Didn't realize it.
The museum here is filled with artifacts from the Lincoln County War. But honestly, the whole town, it's really a museum. Every building, every corner, every street, it's all still here, frozen in time. The McSween house doesn't exist anymore. It burnt to the ground during the 5-day battle in July of 1878, set on fire by the Murphy Dolan faction, while McSween and his men, Billy included, were trapped inside. As the house burned, they had two choices: stay and burn, or run and get shot. Alexander McQueen ran. He was unarmed when they shot him dead in his own yard. And his wife Susan watched it happen. And Billy the Kid, barely 18 years old, somehow made it out alive.
It was never rebuilt. And that's where Alexander McSween died.
Tunstall and McSween, two men who came to Lincoln County trying to do things the right way, build something fair in a place that didn't want fair. They're both buried right here, steps from where everything fell apart. Billy escaped, but he was now a wanted man with nowhere to go and nothing left to fight for in Lincoln, so he ran. But right now, we're chasing something that almost nobody knows how to find. Stinking Springs, New Mexico, December 23rd, 1880. This is where Pat Garrett finally caught up with Billy the Kid. But after finding the exact spot today, that's a whole other story. There are no signs on the road, no markers visible from the highway. The site sits on private property out in the middle of the New Mexico desert, and almost nobody knows exactly where it is. We drove out there and started looking. We found a post from the Billy the Kid Historical Coalition. They had placed a brand new marker at the site just this last December. But finding the exact location from the photos, that took some serious detective work right here in the Jeep. We pulled up their YouTube video of the marker placement, and we studied every photo we could find. We started looking for anything that would give us a clue to where it was. We noticed a bend in the road near a railroad bridge with a windmill in the distance. So we've been chasing the legend of Billy the Kid across New Mexico. We've visited Silver City, Lincoln, the courthouse escape, and much more. And now we're standing in a spot that few people know about or even visit. And we're as close as we can get because this is private property.
Yeah.
But we're super excited we found it.
Yeah.
I think we have spent the last hour driving around this location.
Because it's kind of hard to find the GPS coordinates that you can get online or not. Correct?
No.
So we scoured and we
Yes.
found.
Yeah, it was
So
no easy task. So we are like super excited we
Yeah.
found it. Found a little treasure here. So it's back behind us, and we have some drone footage we'll show you.
kind of that way.
Yeah. So this is Stinking Springs, and this is where Billy hid out in a cabin that's no longer standing out there, one room, and it was in December 23rd.
Yeah, I believe so.
And Pat Garrett followed their footprints and trails through the snow all the way to this location. They surrounded the cabin at night and waited. And Pat Garrett told them, if you see Billy the Kid's hat with the green hat band on it, shoot on spot. Early that morning, they saw the hat, they shot, and they killed, but they didn't kill Billy.
No. They killed Charlie.
They killed Charlie. Charlie had accidentally, in the dark, grabbed Billy's hat to go outside and feed the horses, and unfortunately lost his life. And Charlie was Billy's best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. So
After that,
they waited them out, basically enticed them with, what, beans and bacon?
bacon, yeah. Woo, and
And-
it's windy here.
Yeah, it's windy.
Yep.
So
The smell of beans and bacon is the legend that brought them out. They took out a dirty white handkerchief and waved it, and one by one came out.
Yeah.
And Billy was arrested laughing,
yeah.
which is really a Billy the Kid type of thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this is the last place that allegedly Billy was captured and then taken, as we know, taken to Fort Sumner to be tried and all that stuff like that. And so this is essentially his last hideout, depending on how much you believe of the story later down the road. So,
And unfortunately is where Charlie died. And the legend says that he went up to Pat Garrett and died saying, I wish. And nobody knows what he was wishing for.
no. And then he just, collapsed in the
Yeah,
Pat
Pat Garrett's arms.
and then died.
I'm just so excited we found it.
The memorial stone that was left.
Which they just placed in December.
Yeah.
On the anniversary, on December 23rd. And I don't know if we would have found it without that marker.
No.
What you need to know is this. Garrett didn't just stumble onto Billy that December morning. He rode out at midnight through deep snow with a 13-man posse. He surrounded the stone cabin where Billy and his gang slept inside. Billy and the remaining gang, Dave, Tom, Billy Wilson, were trapped. Garrett's men had shot Billy's horse in the doorway so nobody could get out to get to their horses. Then Garrett did something unexpected. He lit a fire. He put on a pot of beans and bacon and waited. The smell of the food cooking in the freezing December cold was more than the gang could take. Billy the Kid, the most wanted outlaw in New Mexico, surrendered for a hot meal. And here's a detail that gets me every time. That marker was only placed here last December. For over 140 years, this spot sat out here with nothing. No sign, nothing marking what happened. And we almost didn't find it. But then we did. And that was pretty cool. So we found camp for the night and the sun's still out.
Yeah! Woo!
Yay!
Yeah, look
It's
at-
6:30.
I know. Sun's still out at 6:30.
I could
This is a win for us.
I could maybe make dinner. Maybe. I don't know,
It's
we'll see.
pretty windy,
It
but
is still windy, but I think this is every stop we've been to so far has just been in the dark, go to bed. So they haven't been anything spectacular to show. They've just been spots.
yeah.
This is a bit of a little desert gem, I think.
Yeah. I mean, there were people when we first came in at the beginning of it, and we went a little deeper on the trails until we ran out of actual trail to go. And it's not a huge spot, but it's big enough. Like if you were back here and you wanted just to hang out, like you could easily stay a day or two. There's rock formations all around us.
Little trails.
Yeah, looks like there's little people trail that's over here and stuff like that, and there's probably some over there. We'll turn this around a little bit, but you can see back there there's rocks and stuff like that. I mean, obviously we will have to be careful.
Yes.
To not, if I do decide to venture, not to break a leg or something up there.
Yeah, one of us has to stay with Buddy because although he loves to adventure, it's a little rough for him now. And there's gorgeous cactus here. We're getting closer. I don't, maybe this propane is low. We didn't check it before we left.
No, we did not.
But it was, having these both on high was a struggle. So I had to cook one at a time.
And we have never, well, we don't remember that happening before.
No, so that's what we're thinking. But I'm going to go drain this pasta.
Oh, I'm going to go help her.
Yeah.
And we'll be right back.
I'll be right back. Only took an hour.
It didn't really take an hour. It may look like it took an hour because the sun's going down now.
Alright, so I'm just going to add some butter.
She never puts enough pepper on it. I am, everybody, a pepper idiot,
Yeah.
I will say.
I would like to enjoy the taste of the food, not just have a fiery mouth of pepper. So he will get extra on his. So I'm just going to add a little
Pepper's
seasoning.
good, and it's good for you.
Yeah. I'm going to add some.
What's not good for you is putting food away that's always buried. That's a pain in the butt. So here it comes, everybody. Pasta with mixed veggies and Italian sausage and pepper. I don't think I've even eaten this at home before.
I told you I probably wouldn't make it at home, but I had this idea yesterday and it just sounded really good. I don't know if maybe my body needs some carbs or something, but
It's probably not that good to eat carbs at
it's fine when you're not eating
quarter
all
to 8
day.
at night.
We're not eating all day, so.
And carbs are energy. I don't think I need any energy now. All right, pepper.
And he can show you. You won't even be able to see it anymore.
Hey, whatever. So, this is...
That's his pepperholic meal.
That right there. That's probably not even enough after I mix it up. But I'll make do with it. Here we go. I'll put you guys... well, maybe I'll just hold this for a second. And you can kind of see as she scoops. She ain't gonna like it when it's cleanup time.
Yeah, I told him I'll clean up. all by myself.
Yeah, she says that because she knows it's not going to happen. Listen, and when we're at home, the kitchen's her baby. When we're here, the packing of this truck has to go my way.
So there's a non-pepperholic
There,
pasta.
right there.
Yeah.
That just doesn't look tasty.
Yes, it
So,
does. I'm going to try it real quick. Let's see. Before we feed Buddy and put the camera down.
yeah.
It's really good, actually. Maybe I'll make it at home more often. It's actually really good. Or maybe I'm just super hungry.
But I'm going to set this thing down. We're going to turn it off and we're going to eat. And I'm going to go get some. What am I going to get? Soda?
Yeah, some
like
soda, but
Poppy or what is it? Lollipop? Is that what
Ollie.
Ollie Pop. Ollie Pop or Poppy Pop. Oh, we do have some kombucha in there too. But we'll see. So there you go. You guys be the judge. Pepper? No pepper.
Mine still has pepper. Mine still has pepper. It's just not
I'm going with
ridiculous.
pepper.
And that's not his special.
But let us know in the
He
comments. Are you guys pepper people or not pepper people?
And he has special pepper at home. This isn't special pepper, so it's probably not going to taste as good as his fresh, cracked, tart cherry pepper that he gets. Yeah. I freshly crack it every day.
First of all, she does not
I do too.
do
Freshly
it by
crack
hand. It is.
I did, and then I said, "You are not going to eat this much pepper if I have to sit here and do this by hand." So he said, "Get an electric pepper grinder." So that's what I did. But I still have to stand there like this.
But it's an electric pepper grinder.
It still takes a good 2 minutes to pepper his meal. So.
All right, everybody. We will probably check back with you, I guess, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because it's getting late. We got to eat and then we got to clean. And no one wants to watch us clean nor watch us eat.
No, it's boring.
Thanks for joining us so far.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell.
We appreciate everybody that has subscribed so far.
Yeah, we do. And Buddy, who's getting ready to eat, as you see, he would love a subscribe too and a like. But thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
Billy the Kid was captured, sentenced to hang, locked inside this courthouse, waiting for the end of his story. Last time we tracked down the hidden site at Stinking Springs, where Pat Garrett rode through a December snowstorm and finally caught up with Billy the Kid. Billy surrendered for a hot meal, but the story was far from over. From Stinking Springs, the trail took us south to what is now Los Cruces, where Billy faced a judge, then back to Lincoln, where he faced the gallows, and then to places most people have never heard of. Mesilla, New Mexico. Today it's calm. A pretty little town square, shops, restaurants, and old adobe buildings baking in the New Mexico sun. The kind of place you'd stop for lunch and not think twice about. After his capture at Stinking Springs, Billy was brought here to stand trial for the murder of Sheriff Brady. The ambush we showed you back in Lincoln? 3 years had passed since that shooting. But the law has a long memory. Judge Warren Bistel didn't take long. He found Billy guilty and sentenced him to hang on May 13, 1881. Billy reportedly listened to the verdict and told the judge, "You can go to hell." That building right there, the one that's a restaurant now, that's where they held him. People eat lunch steps from where Billy the Kid sat in chains waiting to be taken back to Lincoln. That's the thing about following the trail in person. The places don't always look like history. Sometimes they just look like a Tuesday afternoon. From here, Billy was transported back to Lincoln under heavy guard. He wasn't going back as an outlaw or a regulator. He was going back as a condemned man, and everybody in Lincoln knew it. The Lincoln Courthouse, originally the Murphy Dolan store, the power base of fraction that started the whole Lincoln County War. By 1881, it had become a county courthouse and jail. And this is where Billy the Kid was held while he waited to hang. Billy was kept up on the second floor. No jail cell, just leg irons and handcuffs. 2 deputies guarding him around the clock. Deputy Bob Olinger, who, by every account, was cruel to Billy and taunted him daily about the upcoming hanging. And Deputy James Bell, who most accounts describe as decent, fair, maybe even liked Billy. But then, on April 28, 1881, 2 weeks before his scheduled execution, Billy made his move. This exact details have been debated for over 140 years, but here is what we know. Billy got a hold of a gun. He shot Deputy Bell inside the courthouse. That bullet hole is still in the wall. Billy then grabbed Olinger's shotgun from across the hall, waited at the upstairs window, and when Olinger came running across the street, Billy shot him dead. He killed 2 men. Shackled his own chains free, got a horse from a local who was either willing to or too scared to say no, and rode out of Lincoln in broad daylight while the whole town watched. Nobody even attempted to stop him.
So, unfortunately, we didn't get to kind of explore the town like we thought we were going to be able to.
I'm in the trees.
Somebody's in the trees.
Yeah. Okay.
We were not able to find the cemetery with numerous attempts to drive down roads that ended in private property signs or... Oh,
I was gonna say, you never know, we might come upon it
I
here.
think we just found it. Never mind.
Look at that.
Yeah, there it is. Woo-hoo. Just on accident leaving town. If my history, yeah, see, Susan McQueen Barber, she's the one that was married to Alexander McSweeney, who died in the Lincoln County War, and then she remarried, had to like a big land guy. So she's buried here, and I'm pretty sure one of the deputies that was killed by Billy the Kid in Lincoln is also in this cemetery. So that's why I was really hoping to find it.
Yeah, now we'll see if we can find headstones.
Huh?
Now we can see if we can find their headstones.
Yeah.
Shadow.
Shadow. Got caught inside this story. James Bill came to Lincoln, took a job as a deputy, and never went home. Whether Billy killed him intentionally or whether Bell died in the chaos of an escape attempt, historians still argue about it, but the result is still the same either way. Bell was only 28 years old. Bell died April 28th, 1881, murdered by Billy the Kid during his escape. We found him. Town. It was busy, loud, full of people chasing something. But now it's mostly serene, filled with private property and the kind of quiet that feels like it's holding something back. A lot of what we wanted to see was on the private land, so we kept our distance and filmed what we could get access to. But even from the road, White Oaks has a feeling to it. This part of New Mexico is full of places like this. Towns that once mattered, roads that once carried outlaws and lawmen, and families just trying to survive. And now most of it just sits here, waiting for somebody to remember. By this point in the trail, Billy the Kid had been captured, sentenced, and escaped. Every stop from here feels heavier because the story is moving toward the part most people think they already know, the death of Billy the Kid. But our series doesn't end with the official ending because we still have one question left to answer, and it is waiting for us in Texas. Before we go there, though, we follow the trail to a place where Pat Garrett says he finally ended it for good. Next time, Fort Sumner. You did it!
So we just drove to the end of Meadow Creek Road. So the description about pinstriping is definitely real. I'm assessing the pinstriping damage right now. It is not looking very good. It is not looking very good at all. I'll show you some guy. But as you got pinstriping right there. That's brand new. Like, it's pretty. I'm gonna have to either find me a guy that knows how to get this stuff out or figure out my own. They got a branch up on top of the Jeep just sitting up there. And look, there's nothing here. I mean, it's just dead ends. So, we were looking for a campsite, and then I let the adventure Chris get too much of the day. So now it's, what time is it, honey?
7:14.
7:14. My plan was to stop at 6:30.
Now we got to get back out of here before the sun goes down.
Yeah, because it's chilly up here. There's a couple spots that people put fire rings, but they're not. I mean, it's maybe because they drove all the way up here like we did, and they were like, well, screw it, we'll just hang up here. There's only 2 spots we saw the whole way up here. But now, man, I gotta haul ass back down. What you looking at?
Oh, the video. We'll show you some video going down.
Yeah, we didn't realize we were gonna go this far, so we didn't take really any video of it, but we're gonna try to get some on the way back. But I need to get back because the sun is going down, and we probably got to get 30 minutes. Yeah, 30 minutes to get back to the one we picked that we were supposed to go back to 30 minutes ago. So as you can tell, it looks like I'm getting a little darker. But anyway, so the sun's going down. But hey, if you guys want to try it, by all means.
Or if you have a way to get out pinstripes. If
Tell
you
'em.
have a good way to get out these pinstripes, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah.
We don't want to waste money on products that say they'll do them and won't. So.
Yeah, I got so many.
Yeah, let us know.
All right, we'll see. We'll catch you guys probably tomorrow.
in the morning. Yeah, at this point.
Bye.
Bye.
This is a windy trail.
We marked a camp spot here.
Oh, that way.
Yeah.
So this way is the exit.
Okay.
That's the camp spot
Yes.
up there. I get past that last time without hitting it? I don't remember.
Yeah, we drove right past it.
I did?
Mm-hmm. It's right there on the map.
I don't remember that big ass thing. Like she said earlier in the other clip, anybody knows how to get pinstripes out, man, let me know. I have so many, especially now. So it's a lot more rocky right here. That's why a lot of times on these trips I have certain things planned, and then we don't always get done with them because I never know when to say when. I told her though that she's got to help me stop this. So I
tell
said
him all the time, no. And he says,
well, I said
whatever.
now she's got to withhold chocolate from me if I don't listen.
Chocolate is his weakness.
Chocolate, fresh baked bread.
Yeah.
So, if anybody new to the channel who would like to subscribe, hit that notification bell. We definitely appreciate it.
Okay.
And we don't usually mention it, but we do have a Patreon.
Yes.
And unfortunately,
We're building it.
yeah, we're building it, but it is there.
Yes.
So, if anybody was interested in that, we'd
And
also be
supporting.
appreciative of that.
Yeah, if you want to support our craziness. Because you never know what we're going to do.
Yeah, I even tried to plan out the trips, and I
It's
still don't
pretty,
know.
pretty view out there.
Yeah, but no place to stay.
No.
Alright, I think we're pretty much in the clear, so
All right.
I'm ready to say bye.
All right.
So remember, like, subscribe, let us know about pinstriping, comments.
If you,
Any help would be appreciated.
yep. We're just going to get to camp. Fort Sumner, New Mexico. This is where Pat Garrett says he shot and killed Billy the Kid on July 14th, 1881. This is where Billy was buried the very next day. And this is where people have been coming for over 140 years to stand at his grave. But here is the question that followed the story from the beginning. Is Billy the Kid actually buried here? This area flooded in 1904, and it tore through this cemetery, washed away and mixed up remains of many of the people buried here. Because of that, and because of a similar flooding at the grave of Billy's mother back in Silver City, there is no reliable way to recover and test the DNA. And then there's the story of Bushy Bill Roberts, a man from a small town in Texas who claimed until his dying day that he was the real Billy the Kid, that Pat Garrett had let him go, and that the whole death was staged. We're going to get to that, but first, we came to find the grave.
We're about to walk up to the famous Billy the Kid grave. And here it is. Billy the Kid's grave. And as you can see, lots of people leaving stuff behind. So what we got? It's gonna be hard to see with the sun, but Billy the Kid. He was known by many names: Henry McCarty, William H. Bonney, but best known as Billy the Kid. Born in New York City in 1859, and to find infamy in the Old West is a hired gun outlaw and other wise, stone cold killer. His mother died in 1874 when he was 14, leaving Billy to spend the next year in foster homes. In 1875, he was caught stealing clothing from a Chinese laundry. McCarthy fled town and began his career as a revolving ranch hand gambler and gang member. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but if you've ever done any Billy the Kid research, then you pretty much know the rest of the history. Oh, and here we go. She's going to...
Here, that's for you.
Oh, it's for me. We're gonna leave Billy the Kid something from us.
Yep.
All right.
Ready?
So, ready? Here we go. That's for you, Billy. Now, we really should see if he's here, Spirit Talker.
We will. We've got some other stuff to do for her.
It's hard to see stuff when it's so sunny it is out. So we're gonna go and check out some of the other graves. Not really sure. This is a friend and pallbearer to Billy the Kid.
Jesus Sylvia.
There's a bunch of little graves over here. I apologize if the wind's interfering because it's a little windy.
Kevin.
That's Peter Maxwell. Isn't that
The Maxwell land grant was the largest private land grant in the entire United States history. Over 1.7 million acres stretching across New Mexico and Colorado. More land than some entire states. And it was all owned by Lucien Maxwell and then passed on to his son Pete Maxwell. Pete Maxwell was living in the old Maxwell house right here at Fort Sumner on the night Pat Garrett came looking for Billy the Kid. The largest land grant in American history and the most famous outlaw in the West, all connected to this one piece of ground. Fort Sumner was not just a place where Billy died. It was a place he chose to come back to again and again, even when he was a wanted man. These old barracks were part of the original military fort. It was abandoned by the Army in 1868 and purchased by Maxwell, who turned the entire complex into a ranch. And Billy worked cattle here. He knew the families who lived here, and he spoke Spanish fluently and fit right into the community. Pat Garrett knew that. he knew Billy would keep coming back to Fort Sumner because the people he cared about were here. And on the night of July 14th, 1881, that is exactly when Billy did. He came back. And somewhere between those barracks and that bedroom, the most famous story in the American West came to an end. We are here standing at the spot where allegedly Billy the Kid was killed by Pat Garrett on July 14th, 1881. This would have been the bedroom of Pete Maxwell, where Billy came in the middle of the night barefoot, and Pat Garrett had been tipped off that Billy was here and hid in the dark room. Billy allegedly saw the silhouettes of people and asked in Spanish, "Who is it?" Where he was then shot and killed, allegedly. I almost felt like we weren't going to find it. Because it's kind of far out away from here.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a walk, I
Yeah.
would say. But we also did not realize that was my fault. I thought the Maxwell Ranch was more in Fort Sumner than
More
outside of over here by where they have the grave and where he was. I didn't know it was right by. So we went all the way to Fort Sumner, and then
came back.
came on.
But
we found it.
this is not very far from the alleged grave site. So, and we've heard that nobody had seen the body. There is a grave up there that says they were the pallbearer and laid the body to rest in the coffin, so I'm not sure which is true. But they said he was buried the very next day, not very far from here. So.
Yeah, that's allegedly where he was buried, but no one really saw the body because it was hurried through the system from what we read.
And it just.
So sometimes some people say that was actually like that Pat Garrett shot the wrong person, and that he hurried up the grave to cover it up, or that maybe he helped Billy
escape. They were friends at one point.
They were acquaintances, not friends, but they were acquaintances. So that's what makes the mystery so mysterious
and intriguing.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna whip out the spirit talker and see if we get anything here.
All right. This might be where Buddy lays to rest.
Yeah, Buddy. That was a long walk for that old man of a dog. All right.
And we got a little bit of calm down wind at that time.
Yeah, for a second. So we are here at.
There's those people that were at the graves.
So we are here at the alleged spot where Henry McCarty, aka Billy the Kid, was killed. We have our spirit talker out. We're just going to wait a minute and see if we get anything. If you're here and want to talk to us, you can use this device to say something. Oh, taste.
Taste.
I'm not sure what that meant.
You can always sit down.
What do you mean by taste? Is this where Billy the Kid died? Was his last words, "Who is it?" Good morrow.
Good morrow.
I'm not sure what that meant. Who is here with us? Someone's coming. Who's coming?
Someone's coming.
I don't see anybody. Who's
Someone
coming?
actually is coming.
Are they? Well, thank you. The Billy the Kid Museum has been here since 1953. It holds over 60,000 artifacts connected to Billy the Kid and the history of Fort Sumner and the surrounding areas. Personal items and weapons, documents and photographs.
So, just a little quick update. We got to the Billy the Kid Museum, but there was only about 20 minutes or so before it closed. So, and you have to pay to get in it. Not that we wouldn't have paid to get in it, but we just felt like it wasn't really gonna kind of do it justice to quickly walk around. So we just decided to, you can't really see me that well, but we just decided to walk around the gift shop and then move on to our next destination. So that's what we're gonna do now. But it looks like it might be a cool museum. We just didn't want to rush through it. So, and it's right here, right off Busy Road in Fort Sumner. So you definitely don't have to go out of your way to find it. There you are. It's just a simple Billy the Kid Museum and gift shop.
Before we leave Fort Sumner, there is one thing we have to address. In 1950, nearly 70 years after Billy the Kid was supposedly buried here, a man named Ollie Bushy Bill Roberts traveled to Santa Fe, New Mexico to request a pardon from the governor. Bushy Bill claimed he was the real Billy the Kid, that Pat Garrett had shot the wrong man that night in Pete Maxwell's dark bedroom, that Billy had escaped, just like he had always done, and had been living quietly under a different name in a small town in Texas. He knew details about the Lincoln County War that almost nobody else could have known. He recognized people and places from Billy's life, and he carried the story till his grave. The governor denied the pardon. Bushy Bill died of a heart attack just weeks later. And the question he raised, the same question people have been asking since 1881, has never been fully answered. Did Pat Garrett actually kill Billy the Kid, or did he let him go? We have one more stop on this trail, one more piece of the story, a small town in Texas called Hyco, where some people believe Billy the Kid lived out the rest of his life as a man named Bushy Bill Roberts. And that is where this trail will end. Next time, to understand why we came to Hyco, you need to know the full story of a man named Bushy Bill Roberts. His name, or at least the name he went by for most of his life, was Oliver Pleasant Roberts. He spent most of his life in Hamilton County, Texas, working as a ranch hand, keeping mostly to himself and not saying much about his past. But as he got older, the stories started to come out. Bushy Bill claimed that his real birth date was December 31st, 1859, which would have made him exactly the right age to be Billy the Kid. But here is where it gets complicated. A Roberts family Bible listed the birth year as 1879, which have made it impossible for him to be Billy, since Billy died in 1881. Supporters have an answer for that. They believe Bushy Bill assumed the identity of his cousin, Oliver P. Roberts, a real person born in 1879, around 1910, to distance himself from his past, which means that the family Bible birth date belonged to his cousin, not Billy. See what we mean? Every answer just creates another question. Bushy Bill claimed that on the night of July 14, 1881, Pat Garrett did not shoot Billy the Kid. He claimed that Garrett shot a different man by mistake in the darkness, and that Billy, knowing this was his chance, let the world believe that he was dead. He changed his name, he moved to Texas, and he disappeared in ordinary life for nearly 70 years. Bushy just knew things. He knew specific details about the Lincoln County War, about the regulators, about the people, and about the places connected to Billy that almost nobody outside of New Mexico history circles would have even known. He could name names, he could describe locations, and he knew things that were not in any books. And Morrison was convinced. So he helped Billy travel to New Mexico in November of 1950 to request a pardon from the governor. The same pardon that the Governor Wallace had promised Billy the Kid back in 1879 and never delivered. And the meeting didn't go well, and the pardon was denied. And just 5 weeks later, Ollie Roberts Bushy Bill died of a heart attack on these very streets in Hyco, Texas. He never got his pardon, and he never got his name back. And the question he raised has never been answered. Was he really Billy the Kid? Here's the thing about Hyco. You can look at the evidence of Bushy Bill and find it compelling. You can look at the same evidence and find it unconvincing. Historians have been arguing about it for 70 years and nobody has won. But what we can tell you is this. Standing in this town, walking these streets, knowing that an old man lived here for decades, carrying a story that the whole world dismissed, it feels like something. And maybe he was Billy, maybe he wasn't. But he believed it. He believed it enough to travel to Santa Fe at the end of his life and ask for a pardon he was never going to get. And whatever the truth is, it's buried somewhere between Fort Sumner and Hyco.
That looks like it might be the last where Bushy Bill Roberts fell and had his fatal heart attack while trying to get to the post office.
We're here at what we believe is the spot where Bushy Bill may have passed away. And I have my spirit talker out, haven't asked any questions whatsoever, and the first word we got is damned.
I wonder if that's referring to how loud vehicles are.
So if anybody is here and wants to talk to us, they can use this device. We'll try to be able to hear you through it.
We got a few minutes to give this a shot. Because as we already showed before, that looks like it might be where the outline of Bushy Bill Roberts is. And that sign right there, you can't really read it. It does say Billy's funeral on it.
Yeah. So why did you say damned? Is this the location where you passed away? We're just here to listen to anything you might want to say. She's here. Who's she? Throw?
Throw.
Not sure.
Not sure what that means,
Yeah,
but
I'll leave it running while we're walking and we'll see if anything else pops up.
all right. So I think
This is not what I was expecting when we came here, based off of everything we researched.
we'll give you.
Don't go down there. Don't go down to the museum. Is there untruths at the museum?
We are going to try to visit the museum, see what we can come up with.
Said malice.
Hmm?
It said malice.
Malice?
It's closed.
They were just open. So,
Only us
yeah.
would come to Hico, Texas, and the museum be closed.
Well, here's the thing now, everybody. All right, I'm going to flip the camera on real quick. You see our Jeep is right there in the background. Right there. So, it was open when we parked over there. We got out and we decided to walk to the front of the town and then try to find where Bushy Bill possibly had his heart attack and was unfortunately passed away on the sidewalk. And then by the time we got back over here,
Closed.
it's closed.
Yeah, and
So-
they have magnets.
Yeah.
We collect magnets, but
Yeah, but unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get inside there this time, and we have to keep on moving. We can't hang out in the area because, yeah, well, we got to keep on moving.
yeah.
So, but unfortunately, maybe the next time, if there is ever another time we come to Hico, we'll have to stop in.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say I think the town was a lot quieter when Bushy Bill was here
Yeah.
than it is now.
It's definitely
So-
a crossroads town.
Oh my gosh.
So we have officially completed our outlaw adventure trail of Billy the Kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are
Well, I guess
pooped.
we would say just gonna kind of give a little bit of
Recap?
or insight or I guess what we found to be interesting between the two of us. There was a lot of stuff that there was a lot of stuff I guess, that we did not realize we were going to be able to find when we finally got out there.
Yeah.
Some of it did obviously take a little bit of time to find and some extra researching on the fly, but it was kind of cool that we found some of those things. I think probably the thing that I find the most interesting about the whole Billy the Kid story is really how everything transpired into the Lincoln County War,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then the regulators forming, and how really just how, like, the Murphy Dolan side of it, as they called the house, was just that, you know, I don't know. I don't want to. I guess they were just the ones with the money, and they just thought they could do whatever they wanted to do.
Well,
Because, I mean, back then it was it was way lawless than it is now,
and
obviously. But
what I had researched said that, like I said in one of the videos, Lincoln County all by itself at the time was the size of the state of South Carolina. And Lincoln, inside of that county, whoever ruled Lincoln ruled the entire county. So Murphy Dolan was the first one to come in and rule it or took it over. I'm not quite sure how they came into play. Maybe we'll
Well, they
find
were
some
just
research.
a monopoly. They were a
Yeah.
monopoly, so they were the ones that gave the money for the cattle and gave the money for the grain, and so they set the tone.
Yeah, and then they got very selfish and wanted more and more and more out of the people. And it seems like Tunstall was trying to set up shop
And McSween.
in McSween but do it more fair for the people there. And so, I mean, really, it seems like Billy was on the side of good more than bad.
It does.
And he may have gotten a little bit of a bad rap from that.
Yep. I would agree with that. I would think, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say he maybe had towards the end there, he maybe had like a chip on his shoulder because he didn't get the pardon from the governor, and they were still after him. Mainly, he was kind of the one that they really pinned the Sheriff
Everything.
Brady on,
Yeah.
and that's what they wanted him for, the ambush and murder of Sheriff Brady in Lincoln County. And he didn't get the pardon like everybody else did, and I guess it's unfortunate because back then that, it wasn't as the law wasn't as like straightforward as it is now. So, and
And you could kind of make things up and pin things on people. And
yeah,
I mean, it was just whatever
history
flows.
tracking wasn't
Yeah.
the greatest back then.
No. And it's always amazing to me. And I always think about it and kind of, we've become a little bit of history nerds, I guess. Maybe a little bit. But there's so much things that in school that we weren't taught and that we should know about. And how much history is still out here, but in some places it is starting to get lost, which is sad.
It is. Yeah, it is. There are some places that are. I mean, we were in some places that were part of this, like White Oaks, and it's just not being taken care of anymore. And I get it, like,
You have to have money for it.
yeah, you have to have the money, and most of that money will probably come from donations and stuff like that. So we kind of understand that, but at the same time, sometimes that's what our dog just won't sit still.
Yeah, he's nuts.
That sometimes you just that's what your town, your little town needs to stay alive. It needs that history. Even Lincoln, where that part of the Billy Kid story is probably the biggest part of the Billy Kid story, because that's where the Lincoln County War started. That's where McSween died. The house burned down. Sheriff Brady was ambushed. All that stuff like that. And they are trying to keep it alive, but it's still like in rough shape.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like,
And
and I don't expect them to restore or rebuild McSween's house like it used to look and all that stuff like that. But there's not even a marker there to say
no.
that his house stood here.
Yeah, with like maybe an image of it. Like
Yeah,
when
there's
we
just a
went
little
to
pile of rubble.
Maxwell's house, and I know that was the site of where
Billy the
Billy
Kid
was shot.
by
But
Pat Garrett,
yeah, by
allegedly.
But there was a marker there, and there was a big stone marker with this is the place where Billy the Kid was shot and killed.
Yeah,
But
which you've seen.
there was an image of what the homestead looked like, and that's kind of cool. And you think about, this is only 140. I'm not good at math.
1881.
Yeah, years ago. Like
She's
if you
not good at math.
if you think about it, and how different the world is, it really wasn't that long ago
It wasn't.
that they were running around on horses and living in these one-room log cabins that you wouldn't catch a family of four living in for nothing anymore. And it's good to see that history and walk in. And when we went to the Lincoln Courthouse and you walk on those crazy old floors, and it's just, you should see that kind of stuff. Not everything has to be all modern, and we got to make sure we don't lose that history.
Yeah, and it's crazy to think that when everything went down in 1881 and all that stuff like that, just 40 years later, well, that's prohibition. You know, like think of how different the world was just 40 years later.
Yeah.
1920, it was just way different. A lot of stuff changed in a quick amount of time, kind of after the whole Billy the Kid saga almost.
Yeah.
I know there were some other gangsters out there and, smugglers and all that stuff like that, but it was just different. Like you had your Bonnie and Clyde, obviously, and, but it was just different, I think one of the things that she probably was more amazed by is the amount of distance these guys had to go on horseback to get from, just Lincoln to Fort Sumner.
Which made us dig further into, okay, if he was this crazy escape artist, which we'll talk about in the videos as well, how did Pat Garrett capture him in Fort Sumner and get him all the way to Lincoln on a horse? And, so we started asking the questions. If you were in the 1800s and you were riding horseback from, Fort Sumner to Lincoln, well, it would have taken you 2.5 to 3 days. And then we started getting more history of how he, where he actually went and how he was under heavy guard and how, yes, he went from horseback and then he went by train. And, that part of the story you don't necessarily hear about, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, no one really talks about how he ended up in Lincoln. They just say he ended up in Lincoln, and that's where he escaped, his final escape, where he killed 2 law enforcement officers.
We don't talk about the mob that came trying to demand that one of the regulators be released to them at the train station, and how there was a fight, and there's more to it. You just, in your head, you're like, how do you get him from horse to there? Like, why wouldn't Billy have escaped if he was 3 days and they had to sleep at night at a camp in the middle of the wilderness? Like, there's just no way that he would have held on to him that long.
Yeah.
But so
I don't know.
there's
There's a lot of just small history stuff that, should have a place in this story, but doesn't really have a place in the story. Especially when, a lot of people they want the romantic part of it, not really just, I don't want to say boring part of it, but it is somewhat significant. It's just part of the way his whole life was. And if you're like, for this specific, adventure we did with the Billy the Kid thing, and we're trying to find out as much about his life as we can. Now there are some places we didn't get a chance to go. Like I did find the spot where he had his last Christmas dinner, before everything went down, and but we didn't have a chance to go because that was too far north from where we were. We were trying to get most of the main stuff and then pick up little pieces as we could go, as we went, that we felt like should be in
or questions
our
that we
story.
came up with while we were
Yeah.
out on the
Yeah.
the trail,
Yeah.
the adventure. And we tried to find Dick Brewer's grave, and that proved
Sounds
to
like
be
it's on an Indian reservation.
And we should really call and ask, out of respect, if we could come and visit it. And we were so close to it, though, so close to it. But but we've talked about maybe investigating more about the regulators, because there's all these other these people, not characters, but all these other people that have life stories too. And
I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. There's no doubt about it. I wouldn't have did it if I didn't enjoy it. But it was a lot of work, a lot of driving. I think we ended up driving. I think we did like 6 days.
6 days.
And about 2,400 miles of driving.
Yeah, I mean that was coming from Indiana.
Yeah,
as well.
counting the drive from Indiana.
But
so
that just tells you a little bit. Like if you knew how long do you think? How many miles do you think it is from Indiana just to the first stop in New Mexico?
I think it was like 1,300.
Yeah. So probably like 1,200 miles just following his trail from 1974 or 19. That's when 1874 to about 1881. That's it. 1,200 miles in a modern day Jeep Gladiator. Not on horseback.
Yeah. That's Silver City to Bonita Springs to we went to Las Cruces. That was just had to be on the way. That was obviously later in his life, but Lincoln, Fort Sumner. That's just
Fort Stanton. We kind of went.
Yeah, we went through Fort Stanton. Fort Stanton doesn't have a lot to do with Billy the Kid as far as history goes, but it has to do a little bit with the Lincoln County War, because they were called in to make sure no innocent civilians got hurt in the war between essentially the regulators and the House is what it really comes down to. So they didn't really have anything to do with. They didn't get involved in that. They just were there to make sure that no one on the public got hurt. So
we hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments if you enjoyed it. We're definitely going to plan on doing some more. Not just outlaws, but just more history. So it could be history of a location, a town, outlaws, gangsters, who knows?
Yeah, we're gonna try to dip our toes in some other stuff and add, trails to those mixes, and try to take, if we can, time allows. That's really what it comes down to, time allowing.
Because it took probably a good couple months to really plan all of this.
Yeah,
learn the history, plan it out, make sure the history that we were reading was correct. And even here, we would check multiple sources, and they would say it was April 4th when Dick Brewer died. And then on the memorial, it says April 5th.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's still contradictions, but we tried to make sure we double and triple check everything we could, as much as we could.
And just, also understand that we're not professional historians. So.
No, so there's a lot of things that will be voiced over because we forgot it when we turned the camera on.
And we try to do the best we could.
And we'll get better. But hopefully you enjoyed it. It's kind of a
entertainment.
Yeah, overlanding or adventure landing with a purpose. A little more than just finding epic camp spots, which we found one in the desert. Well, we're still kind of in the desert, but we found one in the desert a couple nights ago that was awesome. And then now we're in this incredible slot canyon. So we're still finding great places to
Which
stay.
she's really nervous about rain coming in at midnight.
There's supposed to be rain. Sorry. Coming in. It's in Arizona right now around midnight. So I'm definitely going to be on high alert tonight. We might be driving out of here with the Alucab tent still up in the air. We don't know. But hopefully not.
I mean, the canyon, there's places outside of this. We're probably in the deepest slot canyon spot there is. So, yes, if it were to start pouring, we'd want to probably just jump out of bed, get in the Jeep, and get out of this canyon. With the canyon's only 50 yards, and then we're out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not like straight dirt. It's a sandy, kind of rocky dirt. So it's not going to turn to like this mushy
Mud.
kind of clay mud.
I know.
You know, like, so I'm not worried about essentially getting stuck.
That's good because I just have flashes of all those videos in Bryce Canyon and Canyonlands National Park in Utah's flash flooding. So where it just comes pouring down over and everybody's stranded.
But I mean, it's kind of our wrap on it. You know, our take on, you know, like I said, I think I enjoyed more. It's probably the thing I enjoyed the most outside of just doing the journey was probably like learning more about the Lincoln County War. And I don't want to like pin it as good versus evil, but it almost kind of takes it, you know, like that. Oh, and then also the high school stop, like, you know, where Bushy Bill Roberts is. So that's another thing. How that's kind of another little town that has some Billy the Kid hold that I think they need to like highlight a little more. You know, I think it's kind of getting lost in that town too. But that's the other thing is like whether or not you believe Pat Garrett essentially shot the right man. You know, because Billy the Kid was. They said he was autopsied and buried, but he was buried very quickly.
Yeah, he was buried the next morning, and he was buried like yards from where he was shot and killed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the coroner or the doctor or whoever came to Maxwell's house and did an autopsy.
Or maybe Bushy Bill Roberts
really is.
It really was Billy the Kid. You know, unfortunately, we'll probably never know that. So there'll be people that say he was, and there'll be people that say he wasn't.
Yeah.
So I guess that's up for the
it's a mystery that will
the viewer
never
to decide.
Yeah, a mystery that'll never be solved, probably.
I don't think it will be.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, the only way that can probably be solved would be DNA, and I just don't see how that's going to be able to happen. But
yeah, the only thing I think is if his brother Joe was able to be
if his brother Joe had descendants and stuff like that,
yeah,
because his brother Joe is probably not alive.
No. But he might actually be buried somewhere where it wasn't flooded and the remains washed around. And
yeah, that's just it. They don't know. They don't know. So obviously, little buddy here.
He's loving the canyon. He won't stop walking around.
Yeah.
Did you want to say anything? What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Were you Buddy the Kid?
Yeah. He sometimes acted like Buddy the Kid.
I so wanted to put a sheriff's costume on him and walk him around Lincoln County, but never did.
An outlaw costume.
An outlaw costume and walk him around Lincoln County. Or Lincoln. Okay, I guess he has nothing to say.
No.
But if there's somebody else, if you enjoyed it and there's somebody else you think would be great for us to highlight or try to find out information on, put it in the comments. We're open to suggestions.
Yeah. We have a couple other ideas in our heads.
Yeah.
We have a trip coming up soon that, you know, is going to take us out of the country again.
Out of the country. No, we're crazy. Like, we're not going. We're going to Canada. Like, you say out of the country, you feel like, oh,
It
you're
is
going
out
to
of-
like Europe or
It
no,
is out of the country.
It is
though.
technically out of the country, but we're going
It's
to
out of
Canada.
the country, pups.
But I've already started researching some gold rush ghost towns and things like that because they have a lot of history just like we do. So maybe we can find some good stuff
But
there.
just remember in previous videos who canceled one of the ghost town trips.
Yeah.
So hopefully she does her research this time.
Yeah, I will. I'll do much better research. So we are going to finish our little nightcap of collagen and some chocolate. And
Yep.
then it's starting
Probably
to get
ready
chilly.
to go
Yeah.
to bed.
It's already 7:21.
And wait for that scary rain to come.
You're going to eat your words. So tomorrow morning when I get on here and I'm like, this is what happened.
Yeah.
Or he'll get on here and be like, I told you.
Yeah. I honestly I'm not worried.
All right, good.
So
All right.
I'm not.
All right. We will catch you later.
Yeah. I do want to get to bed early so I'm not sleeping until 8 o'clock.
Yeah. And in the end, Billy the Kid, he was a real person. He was a teenager who got caught up in forces bigger than himself. He made choices, some desperate, some violent, and some surprisingly human. And who became a legend so large that 140 years later, people are still following his trail. People just like us. 6 episodes, 1 trail, and more questions than answers. We don't know if he survived. We don't know if Wishy Bill was telling the truth, and we'll probably never know. But we followed his trail, and we stood in his places, and we felt the weight of the history. But we're not done yet. Every road has a story, and this is Rome Elevated.